takes the boat out all the way. Next up, Peter Nicholson from Marmara with Bill and Jake.
Still
On
doing
deck,
this, eh?
Tim
Good
Greer.
for you. Keep her up.
Good pull for Peter Nicholson's team. Now up, Tim Greer.
You're getting your instructions, are you?
Well, I just give me instructions. No. If I'm getting my hair wet, I've got to put my foot out. I don't care if I'm listening.
Yeah, for those people that are sort of near our gazebo, the competition is well underway for
Good pull for Tim Greer's team. Now up, Brian Ramsey from Queensboro with Sam and Kenny. On deck, John Rohde.
There's so many horses.
Brian Ramsey's team take the boat out all the way. Next up, John Rohde from Corbyville, Sarah and Millie. On deck, Kelvin Stein.
Back up here. Back.
Riders to complete the round.
Every year. Better than lemon pie up your nose.
I told Katie it's even worse than the animals.
They say that's a winner down there.
Sure you don't want to cut in half?
I'm sure.
That completes the round. Round one.
You're still going there.
It will be presented at the end of the competition.
How long does it take to get a ball?
Well, I'm finishing, this is dog hair I'm doing, so I'm finishing up an order for a lady. So I've got part of the bobbin done here, and I'll put the two of them together. So dog hair, I do dog hair, custom spin dog hair.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
What kind of dog hair?
this is chow right now, but in the boxes they're Malamute. I'm waiting for a lady to pick up her dog hair from last summer.
So you have to card it first.
I wash it and comb it and fluff it, and then I blend it, and then I spin it, wash it again, and it's ready to go.
Isn't that something?
It took me all winter to do it, 24 and a half ounces.
So what would they do with the...
The last I've made for her for a while, I think the last one she made was an Afghan. It's gorgeous, and it blooms like Angora when it's washed. It is, it's just beautiful. Dog hair is beautiful. But this is a chow, two chows, and I blended them together, so That's what I'm spinning now and
Now,
then.
does the hair have to be a certain length before you?
No, not really. I make sure the fleece, the sheep fleece is long because it wraps around the hair and then it allows it to bloom. So, but this is the other color. Dogs with caramel. That's the pure white one. So I'm going to put a stripe of white in the ladies and a stripe of the darker in the man's, his mitts. So you can feel it.
Isn't that wonderful?
You can't smell dog.
No. No, it's lovely.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Now, do you have to wash it in a special soap?
I use olive dish soap, the green stuff. That's what I wash my dog in, or did. I don't have dogs anymore, but that's what I wash my dogs in. It works perfect. It keeps everything white and nice. And Margaret's spinning. We're not sure what it is. We think it's superwash. Purple, grape jelly.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it's called grape jelly. That's the name.
Isn't that something? So you do spend a lot of hours at home doing this
Oh
too?
yeah, oh yeah. This is my last dog here. I'm moving into Alva. We're moving. I live in Sterling, and we're moving from the country into town next spring. So this is my last. I'm not taking any more orders
I don't blame
till
you.
after I move. Yeah.
Really, she knows her calf gets a little soggy in behind the shoulder when stopped, so she's knowledgeable enough to be diligent to get her a bit of a lift in there under her belly, and she just did a great job at getting this calf exhibited today. And it's a small point of difference over the show person's second, but on the individual assessment, she kept the rear feet of her calf just tucked in underneath her heifer more appropriately. Show person in second did a great job. I appreciate her assistance at the onset of the class with the heifer in front of her that was a little sluggish. She did a great job at getting her feet set up on the outside of the ring. However, she places over third. I prefer the tidiness of her halter and the snugness with which she keeps the halter out of the eye of her calf. Third over fourth, maybe an individual just a little bit more relaxed and natural in his posture. Just gives himself a little bit more natural presence and comfortable nature as he shows his calf. And fourth over fifth, took a little bit more time on the individual assessment, got those feet set up more correctly and more accurately, then did the very smooth job in fifth place. A fine group of junior show people. Thank you.
Winning the junior dairy showmanship class is Sarah Prinz. Note it's a correction in your program. Sarah was entered as a novice where she actually is a junior. And Sarah receives the award sponsored by Don and View Farms. Placing second.
Got a comb fit? And it brings from Homestead Organics, but everything forages and free ranges on our farm.
Okay.
The little gray ones are from England, from a town called Dorking. These are silver gray Dorkings, and in the 1600s they didn't even allow these birds to leave Dorking live because their meat is so prized. They have a beautiful white carcass, 5 pounds, just a nice compact little bird. But they're a warm weather bird, so I've not been able to keep any roosters. So these hens lay white eggs. Actually, the gray ones lay white eggs and the white ones lay brown eggs. So the color doesn't have anything to do with it. And this is like, these are pictures on our farm of where this is winter where we keep all of our birds. Some of them in the coop, and then we put the leaves in and they forage, and then they get to free range outside the runs in the summer. So Robbie's here. This is our rooster. So he's a Chanticleer rooster. So everything's nice and compact around the head, so it's less likely to freeze in the winter. And then behind us, we have our heritage turkeys. And turkey hens love to lay eggs and hatch them and raise them. And so with these birds here, they will lay 12 to 20 eggs. What we do is we take the eggs away. So one of these turkeys had 4 eggs and the other had 2 to hatch out because we try to keep our numbers down. And this gray one, of course, hatched bourbon red eggs out. bourbon red poults out because she doesn't care whose egg she's on as long as she's hatching eggs. They're good mums. And they don't care whose children it is as long as they get to raise something and hatch something. So our problem is keeping our numbers down. But we eat the eggs too in the spring. My kids love turkey eggs. They love duck eggs. Yeah, turkey eggs are a lot bigger. They taste really great, but the membrane's a little tougher. So cracking takes a little bit of a unique technique. Duck eggs are cracked like a chicken egg, but they're richer and darker. But my kids love duck eggs. So we also sell meat. So we sell the eggs, we sell the poults and chicks for people who want to raise their own birds for meat. And we also sell organically raised meat. We're not certified organic, but we use the organic methods. So these are Saxony ducks, and I go all over Ontario and find rare birds. And then we try to find different birds from different farms so the genetics are diversified. But these birds come up from Owen Sound, and they're originally from Germany, and they were almost wiped out in World War II because, of course, during the war all the soldiers needed food and just confiscated anything off of the farms. But there was a couple of people that kept small flocks hidden, and they came back.
Wow. You have a lot of work to do.
We do. And we also have Black Welsh Mountain sheep too. So it's not, but this is a poultry building, so we don't bring anything else in here. And we're renovating, so every year the Fair Board is working on a budget to renovate the building. So last year we did the middle section, and this year we've done this section here. Then we sort of ran out of budget, so we ended up here. But next year we'll continue around. And since we don't have a lot of different birds, like nobody raises.
Is that right?
Yes.
How does she know my name?
Yeah, you're quite a buddy.
Yeah, he is.
So how's the farming doing?
Yeah, it's busy, that's for sure. Mary Lee kind of does most of it, and my son-in-law that do it.
Minutes away from here. It was a nice drive, a beautiful drive. It's just on the 115 south. It's about 10 kilometers north of the 401. So it's a pretty easy drive from here, pretty straightforward. So our zoo houses mostly carnivores, big cats, small cats, wolves, and foxes, in addition to a couple primates and smaller animals. So obviously we can't bring a bunch of lions and tigers in our van. Also small children and tigers usually don't mix so well. So we're going to bring a couple of assorted animals you guys are going to meet. We're going to bring some younger animals, some babies that were born this year, in addition to some animals that have been doing this for many, many years. So, that being said, now that you guys know a little bit about the zoo and about Carl and myself, I'm going to send Carl to get our first creature. Oh, he's right here. Carl already has him. Our first animal is a beautiful animal. I love it. It's fuzzy and adorable, but some people might be a little scared of him. Now, he does have 2 body segments and 8 legs, which usually means it's a species of arachnid. So our species of arachnid today is a Brazilian black tarantula. Brazilian black tarantulas, you can expect he's probably all black. He's a large species of tarantula. You guys are he's full grown. He's been at the zoo for many, many years now. So we call him Big Mo. He is not our largest tarantula at the zoo, but he is our friendliest larger tarantula. We do have one that's a bit bigger, but she's a little feisty. Now this is a fairly docile species. He is really active today. He was really active for me earlier. It's nice and warm out today, so he's giving Carl a run for his money today. Now Carl's gonna bring him around. You guys can check him out. You can see he has fur all over his fuzz, all over his body. Now he is from South America. He's from Brazil, so obviously he doesn't have that fur to keep him warm. Those are all sensory hairs to help him sense everything around him. Now, like I said, he has 2 body segments. Now the bottom part is his abdomen. That is where he has his spinnerets, where he creates his web. So he does have 2 tiny little little tiny, they look kind of like little baby fingers at the bottom of his abdomen, and that's where he creates his web. So he uses his web to hunt. So they make nice little holes, and they'll have their web, and when they feel something move, they'll come and seek out their prey. Now, all tarantulas, all spiders do have venom, so you guys might think Carl's crazy because he's holding a venomous animal right now, but they need their venom in order to eat. So if you take their venom away from them, they'll never be able to digest any food. And how they eat their food is they inject their prey item. Typically an insect is what this animal would eat, smaller insects. He eats super worms, which are very large mealworms, and crickets at our zoo. And he injects it with a venom that actually digests the food. So the food actually turns into a lovely little liquid inside the exoskeleton of the insect, and he slurps it up like a delicious bug milkshake, which sounds disgusting, but he thinks it's absolutely delicious. So his fangs are fairly large, but these guys don't really like to bite in defense, because if it bit Carl, he really wouldn't be able to eat any food this week. It takes him a long time to remake that venom. Yes, not Carl. Carl has no venom, I promise. So our tarantula here, he has 8 legs. If you do count them, it kind of looks like he has 10 legs. And what's happening there is he has 2 leg-like appendages. They're called pedipalps. And those pedipalps help him scoop his prey up and hold them close to his fangs so he can inject them with their venom. So those do help him hunt quite a bit. Now he has an exoskeleton. I did mention that with the insects. So his exoskeleton, he doesn't have bones on the inside of his body like we do. His bones are on the outside of his body, and that's literally holding everything in. So we have to be very gentle with these guys. Because they have an exoskeleton, if you do drop them on a hard surface, it can be fairly detrimental to their health. They can lose a little leg, or they usually can grow it back though. But basically everything that's holding him in is his exoskeleton. Give them a flat surface to hang out on. So the tarantula isn't really trained, he's just very well socialized. It's not like training your dog to sit. It's more or less just getting them used to being handled. Now, anyone who has never held a tarantula, they feel kind of like, they're very light. They're not heavy at all, and they feel kind of like a pipe cleaner. So there's a tiny little, not a prick, but there is something there, and they actually probably hold on to things so they can climb trees and other vegetation. So Carl kind of puts his hands over the tarantula, and that just makes him think he's in a dark area. So he kind of thinks he's in a hole, and his species is called a Columbian red-tailed boa constrictor, or a common boa constrictor. So Ben is probably about 8 feet long. You'll notice he has quite the girth on him, so the girth is the thick part of his body. That's a really good indicator of how that animal hunts. Typically, venomous animals, venomous snakes are much smaller, not nearly as thick and girthed. Someone's excited. That wasn't excited. I don't think that was a scared. That was excited. Now you'll notice Ben here, just around Carl's shoulder, that's pretty much the thickest part of his body. Now that animal has a very small head. And these guys are greatly adapted to do what they do, and they do. All right.
I'm going to help you with this. You can just hold on.
So Carl has the head. Everyone's really concerned about the head. They're like, oh, I don't want to go over there where that head is. But if he ate 3 days ago, this is really the most dangerous end. It takes about 3 days to get from point A to point B. I promise he didn't eat 3 days ago, don't worry. Now, feeding schedules are interesting as well. I told you guys they can pretty much wait for prey items to come to them. They're ambush predators. This animal he's slithering along on you guys, isn't he? So these guys can wait for prey to come to them. Now we offer this animal food every week, but usually he'll only eat bi-weekly or monthly. And he eats equivalent to about a 3-pound chicken once a month. So it's a fair amount of food all at once, but their bodies really, really do conserve all their energy by literally relaxing and waiting for food to come to them. All right, I think they did a great job. A round of applause to our volunteers. Please don't forget to wash your hands before you eat or drink anything, guys. What do you think? He is a hawk species. What kind of hawk? Yeah? Carl's a red-tailed hawk. That's right. So you can see he has a beautiful brick coloration on his tail, and that's a sign of maturity. You might see these guys on the side of the highway that look a little bit different. More than likely, that's a juvenile. This is a fully mature male hawk. His name is Noted. And Noden was raised by us at Jungle Cat World. Actually, the owner's son raised him as a hatchling. And he's a really great bird. Was a little windy earlier, but he put this up now, so there's no wind for him. Now these guys are great predators. Now unfortunately he's going to be the only animal we do not get volunteers for, and that's just because these guys, he does live outdoors all year round, and there are very special oils on his feathers. So if we disturb those oils on his feathers when it rains or when it snows, it could allow precipitation to go down into his feathers. So Carl's gonna come around and give you guys a really up close look. Now nobody gaze up with their mouth open. Don't do that. Why? Because he might poop. Oh, you guys are funny. Now when he comes around, you can see his feet. His feet have lovely talons. Those are talons, are how they catch their prey. Now if you look at his head looks pretty big, but it's mostly feathers. His skull is actually only about the size of a golf ball. So very, very small skull. And these two are interesting little animals. They're actually a red fox species, but he's a coloration difference. He's actually called a silver fox. So he's a beautiful black coloration, and he has little tiny white tips all over his body. He's a very pretty boy. Now at 6 months old, you might think he's gonna come out with a tiny, tiny little baby, but these guys are fully matured within 9 to 10 months. So he's fairly large already. So here's Rufus. He's very cute, isn't he? He's one of the oh, we're not doing volunteers yet, guys. You guys are getting a little excited. Rufus, they really like you, bud. So you can see he's pretty excited to come out. He gets really happy. He kind of pants and he wiggles his tail a little. They're very vocal animals. Lots of people go, what does the fox say? The fox says over 14 different vocalizations, so they have lots of different things that they say. And me and Carl usually only experience the happy, excited noises, which I'm not going to do because you guys are going to look at me like I'm a crazy zookeeper, but they are very, very vocal animals. Now Rufus has a really pretty tail. He has a beautiful long bushy tail with that really predominant white spot on the end. And all fox species have a tipped tail that is a different color. So on this planet, they're very interesting, and they do have a lot of mannerisms that are not found in any other creature I've ever met. So this is Elvis. So this is our New Guinea singing dog, and these guys are actually thought to be the originator of the dingo. So the dingoes are related to these animals, but are a bit larger. This is a much smaller species. Now with people, he loves people. You know who else he loves? He loves other canines. He gets along with any other dog or wolves. He gets along with people he loves. But basically, if you're anything else, he kind of wants to eat it. Now lots of people go, oh, I want one of these as a pet. He kind of looks like a Shiba Inu, maybe a little bit of Shar-Pei in him, but he is all wild animal. So this is Spirit. So this is our lovely apex predator here. Spirit, who's that? Who's that? Is that Elvis? So Spirit and Elvis play every day together. They share an enclosure together. They really enjoy each other's company. And it's very reassuring for her to see him up here and be nice and calm. So he really sets the mood for her. Hi, Spirit. So Spirit and Elvis, both being canines, get along really great. So Spirit is a pack animal. Her wolf pack is very important to her. So Elvis is just another part of her wolf pack. Now at the zoo we do have going on right now. Sure. So here in here you can see she is mostly white, but she does have a couple patches of darker colors. Now when Arctic wolves are born, they're born completely gray to blend in with their dead. So they're not out in the Arctic snow when they're tiny, tiny little babies, so they need to have a nice different coloration to blend in with their dead. And then also, when they get older, they slowly get whiter and whiter. Now, pretty much all of this will disappear along her back. Her mom does have that little black spot on her tail, so I can't imagine that's going to go anywhere. So Vonda, her mom was very calm, a really great wolf to work with. And we worked with her for about 3 years, which is quite a long time for wolves. Wolves, when they become mature, become very concerned with their territory, their space, and also their pack order. Their pack order is very important to them. Only the alphas reproduce. The alphas are always the strongest pair in the pack. So those two reproduce in order to create the healthiest and strongest babies. So these guys do become very much like wild animals once they reach their full maturity at about 3 years old. Alright, so I'm going to get... I'm going to get 2 volunteers. Do you want to come up, hon? Yeah, sure. And you want to come up in the black sweater there? Yeah. Okay. I think it's for Guido.
Yeah, you might have to put him on the other side.
Yeah, you might have to put him on the other side there, yeah.
So he's going to stand up on your left shoulder here, not left shoulder.
So Guido likes to have nice tall trees to hang out on. He needs big shoulders.
I'll put him next here, and then the little one can give him a touch there if he wants. Excellent. So once you've done it, you can turn to your left here. We'll show him this shoulder. There, you can touch him. When he's next to you, you can touch him. Same thing when you're ready there, man. You can turn to your left. Yep. Straight now.
So he's getting blueberries today. He really likes blueberries. We feed him a pelleted diet, chow diet that is made specially for lemurs, and then they also get fresh fruits and vegetables every day. Blueberries, grapes, and bananas we reserve as treats, so he really enjoys all those 3. Now bananas and grapes really high in sugar, so it really should just be a treat, and he really just loves blueberries, any kind of berry really.
Down here, if you want to give him another touch, you can give him a quick touch on the back. Anybody wants to touch him, you go ahead and give him a quick touch.
Guido's probably one of our softest animals at the zoo. Believe it or not, kangaroos are very soft as well. We don't have a kangaroo today here, but we do have a kangaroo at the zoo, and she's very soft as well. Okay, thank you. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed our show today. I hope the rain stays away from you guys. I know you guys got lots going on tonight, so hope you guys have an excellent rest of your weekend. That was an awesome tumble. Good job. So Carl and I will be up here for a few minutes to answer any questions you guys have. When Carl's taking Murphy back, just make sure you give him a little space with her. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much for coming out.
Let's have a big hand for our people from Jungle Cat World. They put on a great show here today, haven't they? 2 great shows in a row. It'd be worthwhile going to visit it. What a great...